Jorge asks us, do you have any ideas on what a conditioning version of easy strength would look like? Yeah, you just got to buy the book. I I'm a big believer in the work of Phil Maffetone, Maffetone. Um, okay. Well, I cleaned up everything, and then, of course, whenever I clean up, I lose everything. But I have all of Phil's books. I think his book on strength I actually like a lot. His book on strength is very much like easy strength. But the idea, the easy strength conditioning would be you take your age, and so you got the number 180, and you minus your age. So I'm 65, so that would be, holy cow, that number gets smaller every year. That just shocks me to say it out loud. So 115, and then you take the number 160 and minus your age, which is 95. And he would want me to stay as long as I could in that 95 to 115 range. If you are on medicines, he asks you to go 5 lower. So, wow, 110 to 90, which is what I can do. But I can do that, I think, 90 to 110. Maybe just like little, like 1 kilo or 2 pound weights in my hands. When I do heavy hand. So it's not very hard. And of course, if you go up a hill at all, I go right up through higher. And then what you try to do is you try to have a very easy conditioning would be you would ramp yourself up to that 180 minus your age number, but don't go over it and don't let it go under the 160 minus the age. And so you ramp it up to there. Take your time, take 10 to 15 minutes. Get into that heart rate and whatever it takes to do it. Of course, the older you get, the easier this thing becomes, which is also makes sense because it's also healthy. It's safe, healthy. Stay on that as long as you can. A half an hour, 45 minutes, and then taper down at the end. If you're doing it with heavy hands or vests, it's weird to pop the vest off and drop the weights and walk after you've. So I have a couple of different ways I do this. Sometimes I'll put on ankle weights and a vest. The vest weighs 15 kilos, 33 pounds, and then I put the hand weights in. So that's when I do all three: ankle weights, vest, hand weights. When I put those down, and when I take them off and then walk after, it is weird. It's like you're just kind of refreshed and ready to go. After doing that, for maybe I would really push it a little bit longer. Maybe I was going to say 2 months, but I would even say 3 months of that. Just that, keep it in there. Then slide over for 6 to 12 weeks and add intensity to it. That would be whatever you consider interval training. Speed work. If you're competing, like, if you're, I don't know, track and field, or if you just do like 5Ks on the weekends or whatever, or triathlons, and those days would be considered hard days. And then you find 1 or 2 other days in the week where you try to really go in an interval of some kind. Now, most people get into intervals way too early, and they pay a very high price on the other end as they try to, because interval training, yeah, it does raise your heart rate, and yes, it probably increases body fat loss. But if you read a guy like Clarence Bass, Mr. Ripped, and I'm rereading all of his work. Here's his. These are his 3 Lean Advantage books. When you read him, his whole thing is if you're losing more than a pound a week, half a kilo a week, very quickly you can get yourself. Yeah, you'll keep losing weight, but you're losing muscle, so you're losing weight, but you're not losing fat, which is probably what you want to do in most cases. I've said it 100 times, 1,000, million times. 2 hardest things to do is to lose body fat, and then number 2 is increase lean body mass, and that's what people want to do. And some people want to do it at the same time, and I'm like, wow, So that's how I do it. Read the works of Maffetone. His site is outstanding. In the first book with Pavel, we discuss it quite a bit in the book. I don't know if I'll have it very much in the new book. Yeah, I'll talk about walking, but I'll sort of stay away from that stuff because it's not my lane, bro. But I'll do my best. Maybe I'll think about it, Jorge, and I'll come back and maybe do some more in the book.